Good day, everyone. Today I'm going to discuss to you about graph of sine and cosine function. I'm going to share to you the pattern that I have created so that my students will easily understand this lesson. Let's start with this one. Please take note of this table of values because we will be applying this table of values so that we can graph the sine function and graph the cosine function. Let's start with this one. Y equals 1/3 sine quantity pi over 2 plus 3x. The first thing that we need to do, we need to transform this into its standard form, which is y is equal to a sine b quantity x minus c plus d. So as you can see, there is a numerical coefficient on x. That's the reason why we need to put 3 outside the parentheses. So that's the reason why it will be y equals 1/3 sine, going to write 3, and then let's factor. 3x divided by 3 is x. Then pi over 2 divided by 3 is equal to pi over 6. So therefore, it will be y equals 1/3 sine 3 quantity x plus pi over 6. To graph the given trigonometric function, let's start identifying the values of a, b, c, and d. So just always remember that we have a standard form of y equals a sine b quantity x minus c plus d. So as you can see, the value of a is equal to 1/3. The value of b is this one, which is equal to 3. The value of c is this one, and therefore that is pi over 6. And the value of our d is 0. Some of the books will say that value of c is equal to negative pi over 6. But just always remember, on my pattern, phase shift is negative c. That's the reason why there is no difference between the two. So to find the amplitude, we're going to apply the formula absolute value of a. So we're going to substitute, instead of writing a, we're going to write 1/3. The absolute value of 1/3 is equal to 1/3. So therefore, a is equal to 1/3. To find the period, we're going to substitute the value of b. So p is equal to 2 pi over 3. Instead of writing b, we're going to write 3 because the value of b in our given trigonometric function is 3. So therefore, the value of period is equal to 2 pi over 3. To find the phase shift, we're going to substitute c. Our c is pi over 6, so it will be negative pi over 6. Since it is negative, our phase shift is 5 over 6 units to the left. If the given phase shift is positive, therefore it will be pi units to the right. Since our phase shift is negative, therefore our phase shift is pi over 6 units to the left. For our vertical shift, our d is equal to 0. Therefore, the vertical shift will be none. There will be no movement happen vertically to the given function y equals 1/3 sine 3 quantity x plus pi over 6. To find the domain of the given sine and cosine function is always or are always set of all real numbers. If there will be condition, you will write the condition for the domain. But since there is no condition in this given, therefore our domain is set of all real numbers. To find the range, we will be substituting the value of the amplitude, which is a, and the value of d, which is 0. So since our d is 0, we will just simply have negative 1/3 plus 0 and 1/3 plus 0. Simplifying that, we will be having negative 1/3 and 1/3. Therefore, our range is negative 1/3 and 1/3. After that, we're going to proceed with completing the table of values. So here is the table of values in graphing sine function. For x, we have 0 plus minus ps. Ps means phase shift. Why is it plus minus? If the sign of our phase shift is positive, therefore we're going to use plus. If the sign of our phase shift is negative, therefore we're going to use minus. P means period. So instead of writing P, we're going to write the value of the period. So let's simplify this one. So therefore we have 0 minus pi over 6. Because the sign of our phase shift is negative, therefore we're going to use minus. Therefore, 0 minus pi over 6 is negative pi over 6. For p over 4, it will be 2 pi over 3 all over 4 minus pi over 6. If we are dividing fraction to a whole number, we will just simply get the reciprocal of the denominator and multiply that to the numerator. Thus, it will be 2 pi over 12 minus pi over 6. As you can see, 2 over 12 can be simplified, and it will be pi over 6. So, pi over 6 minus pi over 6 is equal to 0. For p over 2 plus minus phase shift, it will be 2 pi over 3 all over 2 minus pi over 6. 2 pi over 3 divided by 2, again getting the reciprocal of 2, it will be 1 half. Multiplying to the numerator 2 pi over 3, it will be 2 pi over 6. Minus pi over 6 is equal to pi over 6. For 3p over 4, it will be 3 times 2 pi over 3 all over 4 minus pi over 6. 3 times 2 pi is 6 pi. So therefore, we have 6 pi over 12 minus pi over 6. Since there is a denominator 6 here, we can simplify this as 3 pi over 6. So therefore, 3 pi over 6 minus pi over 6, it will be 2 pi over 6 or pi over 3. For p minus phase shift, it will be 2 pi over 3 minus pi over 6. Getting its LCD, our LCD is 6. So therefore, it will be 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 pi minus pi is equal to 3 pi. So therefore, it will be 3 pi over 6, which is equal to pi over 2. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to simplify the values for y. So we're going to substitute a and b. So we're going to have 0, our d is 0. So therefore, it will be 0. Our a, this is positive negative. If the value of a or the sign of a is positive, therefore you're going to start with positive a plus d. But if the sign of our a is negative, therefore we're going to start with negative a plus d. Since the sign of our a is positive, therefore we're going to write 1/3 plus 0, which is equal to 1/3. Here 0 plus 0 is 0. Now, we're going to follow positive a plus d, 0 plus d, negative a plus d. Therefore, it will be negative 1/3. So, if the given value of x is negative pi over 6, the value of y is 0. So, let's now graph the given trigonometric function. So, let's plot or write negative pi over 6, 0, pi over 6, pi over 3, and pi over 2. After that, we're going to check what are the values on y. The values on y are negative 1/3, 0, and 1/3. So, therefore, we're going to write like 1/3, 0, and negative 1/3. Now, let's plot. Like, if it is negative pi over 6, that is 0. So, we're going to plot the points. I'm going to use red. If it is 0, it will be positive 1/3. If it is pi over 6, the value of y is 0. If it is pi over 3, the value of y is negative 1/3. And if it is pi over 2, the value of y is 0. Now, we need to connect the dots. It will be this one by drawing a smooth curve. Okay, so we're going to extend this one and this one. It implies that it's going from this side and it will be going to the right side. So this will be the graph of the given trigonometric function. Let's try another example. For y equals negative 2 sine x, the condition is from 0 to 4 pi. So let's start with checking if the given trigonometric function is in standard form. Since this is in its standard form, therefore, we're going to start with identifying the values of a, b, c, and d. The value of a is negative 2. The value of b is equal to 1. This is the value of b. Since the numerical coefficient of x is 1, therefore we're going to write 1. The value of c is 0 and the value of d is 0. So by getting the amplitude, we're going to apply absolute value of negative 2. So the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Therefore, our amplitude is equal to 2. For the period, we're going to have p is equal to 2 pi over, instead of writing b, we're going to write 1. So 2 pi divided by 1 is equal to 2 pi. For phase shift, since our c is equal to 0, therefore, the phase shift is none. For vertical shift, since our d is equal to 0, our vertical shift is none. It implies that there is no movement from right to left and upward, downward. For domain, we're going to write the condition which is 0 to 4 pi. That's what I'm talking about. It's not always set of all real numbers because there are given wherein there will be set of values like this one, 0 to 4 pi. So therefore, the domain will be 0 to 4 pi. For range, we're going to substitute the value of a, which is 2. So we have negative 2 plus 0 and 2 plus 0. So negative 2 plus 0 is negative 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. Therefore, our range is negative 2 to 2. Again, let's apply the table of values. We're going to substitute the value of phase shift and the value of the period. So we have 0. Since phase shift is equal to 0, we will just simply stick with this 1. So therefore, it will be 0. P over 4, it will be 2 pi over 4, which is equal to pi over 2. For p over 2, it will be 2 pi over 2, which is equal to pi. For 3p over 4, it will be 3 times 2 pi over 4, which is equal to 6 pi over 4 or 3 pi over 2. For this one, we have 2 pi. But since our condition is to draw a graph of a given trigonometric function from 0 to 4 pi, therefore, we need to have or until 4 pi for x. So we're going to have or extend this one. As you can see, we don't need to apply the formula. We're going to take a look on the pattern. So here is 0, then pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, it can be 4 pi over 2. So as you can see, we just simply add 1/2 or pi over 2 to get the next term. That's the reason why 2 pi plus pi over 2 is equal to 5 pi over 2. Then 5 pi over 2 plus pi over 2 is 3 pi. 3 pi plus pi over 2 is 7 pi over 2. And 7 pi over 2 plus pi over 2 is equal to 4 pi. So we reach the 4 pi. So therefore, we're going to end with this value of x. After that, we're going to get the values of y. We're going to apply this. So 0 plus 0 is 0. Therefore, we're going to have 0. Since this is equal to 0, we will just simply use the first one, which is this one. Okay? So, since our value of a is negative 2, therefore, we're going to start with negative. So, we have negative 2, 0. Since it is negative here, therefore, the next will be positive. Positive 2, 0. As you can see, there will be pattern. 0, negative 2, 0, 2. So, therefore, it will be 0, negative 2, 0, 2, 0. So, we'll just simply continue in order for us to get the values for the continuation of x and y. So after that, we already have the values of x and the value of y. Now we're going to graph or plot the given points. So we're going to write first the values of x, 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. Pi pi over 2, 3 pi, 7 pi over 2, 4 pi. After that, we're going to take a look on the values of y, and the values of y are 0, negative 2, and 2. Therefore, we're going to have negative 2 here and 2 here. After that, we're going to plot the points. So, okay, we're going to plot the point 0, 0. So we have here pi over 2, negative 2, pi 0, 3 pi over 2, 2, 2 pi 0, pi over 2, negative 2, 3 pi 0, 7 pi over 2, 2, and 4 pi 0. After plotting the points, we're going to connect the points. So we're going to have this one by drawing smooth curves. Okay. It will be this one. So you're not going to extend the line. Why? Because your domain is just only from 0 to 4 pi. Therefore, your graph will stick from this one. But if there will be no condition, you're going to extend the line. So therefore, this is the graph of the given trigonometric function. And it shows two cycles of the given graph of the given trigonometric function. How I know that we draw two cycles? Because our period is equal to 2 pi. How many 2 pi did we draw? We draw 2 pi. That's the reason why we have two cycles. Next, let's now discuss about cosine. Again, let's check if it is in standard form. As you can see, this trigonometric function is in its standard form. So we're going to identify the values of A, B, C, and D. Again, how I'm going to know if it is not in standard form? If it is not in the form y equals A cos B quantity x minus C plus D. Take note, it's just only x. If there will be numerical coefficient except 1 from this in this parentheses, therefore it is not in standard form. You need to put that numerical coefficient outside the parentheses, like on our first example. So let's now identify the values of A, B, C, and D. For A, so this is the value of A. As you can see, there is an invisible 1, therefore A is equal to 1. And this is for the value of B. As you can see, there is also invisible 1 here. So therefore, your B is equal to 1. For C, this is your C. And that is pi over 4. For your D, this is your D. And that is negative 1. After identifying the values of A, B, C, and D, we're going to identify the value of amplitude. For amplitude, we have the absolute value of A. Your A is equal to 1. So therefore, instead of writing A, we're going to write 1. So therefore, the absolute value of 1 is equal to 1. For period, we have 2 pi over B. Our B is equal to 1. So therefore, instead of writing B, we're going to write 1. So your period is equal to 2 pi. For phase shift, we're going to substitute C. So your PS is equal to negative pi over 4. So therefore, it will be pi over 4 units to the left. So that will be the movement of the graph. After that, for vertical shift, your D is equal to negative 1. Therefore, it will be 1 unit downward. If our vertical shift is positive, therefore it will be upward. If the vertical shift is negative, it will be downward. Same thing with phase shift. If the sign of the phase shift is negative, it will be to the left. But if the sign of the phase shift is positive, it will be to the right. For our domain, since there will be no restriction, therefore it will be set of all real numbers. After that, we're going to substitute. Instead of writing A, we're going to write 1. So therefore, bring down 1, negative. Then write 1 plus, instead of writing D, we're going to write negative 1. Again, your A is 1 plus negative 1. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is negative 2. And 1 plus negative 1 is 0. Therefore, we have negative 2, 0. After identifying these values, we're going to proceed with the graph of the given function. So we're going to use again this table of values. As you can see, this is different from the table of values in sine function in order for us to graph the given cosine function. So you already know PS and period. So we're going to substitute. So we're going to have 0 minus pi over 4 is equal to negative pi over 4. We just simply substitute the value of PS, which is negative pi over 4, and the value of P, which is equal to 2 pi. So it will be 2 pi over 4 minus pi over 4, which is equal to pi over 4. For P, we have 2 pi over 2 minus pi over 4. So getting the LCD, we have 4. 4 divided by 2 is 8 times 2, or 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2 times 2 is equal to 4 pi. 4 divided by 4 is 1 times pi is pi. So 4 pi minus pi is equal to 3 pi. Therefore, we have 3 pi over 4. As you can see, we just simply add 2 pi over 4. Negative pi over 4 plus 2 pi over 4 is pi over 4. Pi over 4 plus 2 pi over 4 is 3 pi over 4. So you can see the pattern. So therefore, the next one will be pi over 4. The next one will be plus 2 pi over 4 is 7 pi over 4. But if you want to solve using this pattern, we can have 3 times 2 pi over 4 minus pi over 4. As you can see, we have the same denominator. We will just simply copy 4. 3 times 2 pi is 6 pi minus pi is equal to pi over 4. For this one, we have 2 pi minus pi over 4. Our LCD is equal to 4. 4 divided by 1 times 2 is equal to 8 pi. 4 divided by 4 times negative pi is negative 5. 8 pi minus pi is 7 pi over 4. So it's up to you if you want to make sure that your answer is correct with this one, or you will just simply use the pattern. After that, we're going to solve for the value of y. So let's substitute the value of a and d. The value of a is 1 and the value of d is negative 1. So we're going to start with 1 plus negative 1, which is equal to 0. 0 plus negative 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is negative 2. 0 plus negative 1 is negative 1. And 1 plus negative 1 is 0. After that, we're going to write the values of x in the x-axis. So we have negative pi over 4, pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4. For y values, we have 0, negative 1, and negative 2. Now let's plot the points. So we have negative pi over 4, 0, pi over 4, negative 1, 3 pi over 4, negative 2, 5 pi over 4, negative 1, and then 7 pi over 4, 0. So we can now connect the points by drawing curves. Like this one. So therefore, we can now extend the lines infinitely from what direction? And this is the graph of our given trigonometric function. It's just only one cycle. We are just presenting one cycle. Next, y equals 2 cos pi x, where x starts from 0 up to 4. So therefore, there is restriction. Therefore, our domain will be 0 to 4. Inclusive. So let's now identify the value of a. So here is a, which is equal to 2. Our value of b is this one, which is equal to pi. There is no value of c, and there is no value of d. After that, let's identify the value of the amplitude. A is equal to the absolute value of our a. Our a is 2, so our amplitude is equal to 2. For period, we have p is equal to 2 pi over, instead of writing b, we will be writing pi. So 2 pi divided by pi, our p is equal to 2. Because we can cancel pi on the numerator and denominator. For phase shift, since it is 0, therefore our phase shift is none. And our vertical shift is 0, therefore our vertical shift is none. We already have the domain. We just simply copy the condition or the restriction from 0 to 4, inclusive. So we're going to substitute the values. Instead of writing a, we're going to write 2. So we have negative 2 plus 0, and then 2 plus 0 because the value of this is equal to 0. Simplifying, negative 2 plus 0 is negative 2. 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. Therefore, our range is negative 2, 2. Let us now graph the given trigonometric function. Let us again apply or complete this table of values. So we have, since our phase shift is equal to 0, we're going to just simply follow this one. No need to substitute 0. This one. Okay, so we have 0. Our p is equal to 2. So we have 2 over 4, which is equal to 1 half. We have p. So our p is equal to 2. 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. 3. So we have 3 times 2 over 4, which is equal to 6 over 4, or 3 over 2. For p, we have 2. As you can see, we just simply add 1 half. 0 plus 1 half is 1 half. Plus 1 half is 1. Plus 1 half is 3 halves. Plus 1 half is 2. Since we need to show a graph wherein the x starts from 0 up to 4, we only have 2. Therefore, we need to extend the table. So since we just simply add 1 half, 2 plus 1 half is equal to 5 halves. Plus 1 half is 3. 3 plus 1 half is 7 halves. And 7 over 2 plus 1 over 2 is equal to 4. So we reach until 4. So it's enough. Now we're going to substitute the values of a and d. The value of our a is equal to 2. And our d is 0. So no need to substitute d. So therefore we have do 0, negative 2, 0, 2. So as you can see, there is pattern. 2, 0, negative 2, 0, 2, 0, negative 2, 0, 2. So we already follow the pattern. After that, we already have the values for x and y. Now let's write the values of x, which are 0, 1 half, 1, 3 halves, 2, 5 halves, 3, 7 halves, 4. After that, for y, we have 2, 0, and negative 2. For 2, and we have negative 2. After that, we're going to plot the points 0, 2, 1 half 0, 1 negative 2, 3 over 2, 0, 2, 2, 5 over 2, 0, 3 negative 2, 7 over 2, 0, and 4, 2. After that, we can now connect the points by drawing smooth curves. Like this one and this one. So no need to extend the graph because we have the restriction from 0 to 4. Therefore, this is the graph of the given trigonometric function. Okay, that's all. Thank you and happy math learning. Don't forget to subscribe in our channel so that you're going to be updated with our video tutorial in mathematics. Thank you and happy math learning.